Hey guys, Rob from Georgia with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe with episode number 37. Can you imagine? We've done 36 of these so far. Never thought I would be able to do it, but I have. We're here and we're heading towards the end, but it is number 37, Seed of Destruction. And I would have to say that my wife said I got to say this. So number 37 is perhaps not only her favorite, but the most important number in her life. She sees 37 in anything and everywhere and is always seeing it, and just it's always a reminder to her when she's out and about working or whatever. I don't know, it's kind of an odd thing, but I told her this is number 37. She's like, you gotta say something about 37. So and weird, the minute I started to pay attention, the more frequently I start seeing it, which is really weird. Anyways, Seed of Destruction, man, not a lot to say in here exactly. It is this episode is somewhat remarkable for two things. There's no guest cast at all. And second thing, in terms of year 2 standard, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this may go down as my favorite episode of the entire year 2. I think this is one of the rare episodes that can meet year 1 episodes, at least maybe a step down from the really good ones. But this can play ball, man. This is I always think of that line, Renault from Casablanca. I'm shocked to find gambling here. Some of you got that on the quick. But this is okay. So this has been done, of course. Star Trek. This I'm not gonna say is necessarily, we might call it cliche or whatever, but Koenig. So Koenig and Alan, there is something again. It just seems like something is always messing with Moonbase Alpha. In this case, I think it's I can't remember if it was a power surge of something. But anyways, it causes Koenig and Alan to take an Eagle One up to this asteroid, this sort of crystal-looking asteroid. And when they land down, mysteriously something ends up wrong on Eagle One, which forces Alan to stay on board to try to troubleshoot. And Koenig goes on a little investigation to see what's there. And this is where I have to say, when I'm watching this episode, I start thinking about like Galaxy of Terror, some of the more cheesy, low-budget affairs of the 80s. But I don't know, I guess what I'm getting at is this had like a horror vibe to it that I wish would have been pushed a little bit further, but was pushed well enough, I think. So Koenig goes into a cave, and of course Alan doesn't like this idea from the get-go. But Koenig just says, stay, try to figure this out. He goes in there, and he's in this like hall of mirrors, or cavern of mirrors. And we'll call it, I don't use this word very often. Of course, everyone else does, I guess. But his doppelganger, right? But his evil reflection. You think of, I'm good Ash, I'm bad Ash, kind of thing. Or the scene in Evil Dead 2 when Ash comes out of the mirror, right? And so Koenig's reflection sort of steps out and then comes up behind him, and basically, I can't know if he touches him or something, but basically puts him down. He then goes and tells Alan he's on his way, get it ready. Gets on Eagle. There's still the issue until John looks over at him and sort of, issue? And Alan's sort of like, oh, no, everything's fine now. He should have known right there was something up. But they lift off. They go down to back down to Moonbase Alpha, and Koenig, or the evil reflection of Koenig, delivers. Man, he basically puts the entire Moonbase Alpha on alert by telling them, if we don't do this thing, which is fire this laser beam that's going to pull energy away from even the life support from Moonbase Alpha. But his point is, if we don't do this, we are not going to be able to pull away from, that's what it was. They got caught into sort of like a magnetic pull of the asteroid, right? So his point is, if we shoot this laser at it, then it'll bounce back, hitting us, pushing us back, and we'll be free of it. But what they don't realize is the intention is not to free them as much as to drain their existence in hopes of putting enough energy from this beam into the asteroid, waking up an ancient sleeping civilization that is basically embryo-sized, basically kept away, safekeeping until that day arrived. And this day arrives. And so they basically are able to lure the Eagle One in, kidnap Koenig, replace him with this sort of evil twin, right? And that evil reflection goes back down in hopes of doing something that will waken the civilization on this asteroid up, even at the total expense of Moonbase Alpha. Now you get into some of the balancing off against one another, right? You got Alan, who will not waver in his loyalty to Koenig. You've got Helena, of course, you know who she loves him. It takes her a while, but eventually she'll even come to the point where she will have to face the fact that this may not even be Koenig. This might not even be John. Tony, of course, being the cynical one, him and Maya are both very quick as to, we need to, if we even have to, steal an eagle, get up to that asteroid, and try to figure things out. And so you got a lot of this stuff going back and forth at one another. And I'm going to tell you, man, it works. It works to really perplexingly to great effect, at least for me personally. I really got a kick out of this episode. I loved it, just how John could basically push Helena away. And Helena's like, what on earth is going on here? Alan, his loyalty, now you really see where his loyalty is. He is loyal to John, regardless, no matter what. And if you stand against it, you're committing mutiny, right? And so this will go kind of back and forth until obviously we'll get our resolution in the end. But the resolution really does come about in two ways, I think. One, Maya and Tony will get up there, and they will. Now that's a pivotal scene, because when they do steal the Eagle, even without Alan's help, when Koenig realizes an eagle has lifted off, because he has grounded everything, man. He don't care about. I mean, he's not Koenig. He's this sort of reflection, but this alien entity. And he orders, and now this is the crack in Alan's loyalty. When Koenig orders them to shoot down the eagle, and Tony and Maya on there, and they know this John would never, ever, ever order something like this. But the tension that is ratcheted up, and how Helen is able to force John to back down without counteracting him, I guess, or it really does work well. And once Tony and Maya get on there, they'll find, of course, there's also this issue of, I forgot, the mineral stone that John has brought back with him, which he will not let anyone get anywhere near. Maya will figure out a way to get to it and get a piece of it, and then they'll start to figure out what's going on, right? But when they find John and they release John, they stay back to try to figure out how to resolve things on that end. John comes back to face off against his evil reflection, and that brings us to a great standoff, man. Like I said, this one really could run with the bigger dogs of year one. My main problem with this one, and it only comes, I don't even know what happened, but you get to the end, you have your resolution, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're done. You haven't even brought Tony and Maya, have not even come back into the situation. They're still on the asteroid. But it's like you just reached this finality, and then you would think there would have been one last moment where you would have saw Tony and Maya maybe coming back on an Eagle, sharing a laugh with one another, in relief that they escaped another one. No, you're not giving anything. It's just so abrupt, almost awkwardly, it's just done. And it's so weird how it ended like that. But I love it when Koenig faces off with Koenig. That just harkens back to the classic, Kirk facing off with Kirk, and even later on in Star Trek lore with Beta facing off with Beta. We've seen this. For us, horror geeks, it's Ash versus evil Ash, right? I mean, you gotta love it, man. Sometimes when these things work to good effect. And I really felt, my personal opinion, this worked really good. This episode is one of my favorite episodes of year 2, by far, easy. And we'll see. We got, I think, the Beta Cloud, which, by the way, I looked ahead just a little bit. David Prowse, guest star, Beta Cloud. Is that it? Yeah, the Beta Cloud. As the alien, David Prowse. Darth Vader, anyone? So that's fascinating. Looking forward to getting into that and checking that out. Remember Muir's book, Reference Guide to Space 1999? Awesome book if you're a fan. Of course, the Shout Factory's release of this entire set, beautiful. And once we conclude Space 1999, we will, we will. Then I am going to go ahead and take on Battlestar Galactica. Got the seasons on DVD not too long ago. And actually this weekend watched the opening movie. It was an interesting revisiting. I haven't seen this in so stinking long. It's amazing how long. But anyways, that's way out in the horizon. We're only at 37. We got a ways to go. I think we get to 48, and then we'll be done with Space 1999. And I may do sort of a wrap-up vid on my overall thoughts of Space 1999. But Seed of Destruction, man. Koenig versus Koenig. What did you think? Have you seen it? Drop a comment there below. Hit the like button. Sub if you haven't subbed. And I do got other things going on. My Italy's Holocaust. I got the stuff on body bags. And a new thing called the Crazy Vibes. That's sort of just new, right? I think that'll be like every other week. Just like my Italy's Holocaust is every other week kind of thing. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the view. Thank you for the comment you may leave. Hit the like button again. And just look, if it wasn't for a lot of the reaction that has come back via the comments and stuff, I don't know if I would have lasted to number 37. This really will go down as the first time I've really, outside of body bags, that I've really hung tight onto something and wanted to ride it through to the end. Someday, I would like to think that maybe I could tackle the X-Files. But there's a couple seasons I'm missing on those, so I really do need to get my hands on. But that's way, 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 way out there. So anyways, great episode. One of the better, maybe the best one of the year for me. Great episode. As always, man, thank you much. We always end these things off with Go Bills.